Hi everyone, welcome to Knowledge Center. Today we shall take up some problems regarding the specific energy consumption. Before that, let us have details about the factors affecting specific energy consumption. So in the previous class I have just I have derived an expression for the specific energy consumption, and here we have it. By looking into this derivation and formula, we can identify the factors which are going to affect the specific energy consumption. So we can say that the weight of the train in turns, the distance traveled in kilometer, the maximum speed of the train, the rotational inertia weight of the train, the gravity up or down, that gravity of train, resistance of the train, efficiency of the gear, efficiency of the motor. So these are the factors which are going to affect the energy consumption for a particular journey. Now let's start up with the problems. Let me take one example here. So I have written a question here. Let's solve this. So the question says that, let us arrange it properly. Okay, here an electric train has an average speed of 50 km per hour. Average speed is given on a level track. See, this is important term, level track, between two stops which are 2 km apart. So the distance is given. The acceleration and braking retardations are 1.8 and 3.6 respectively. The tractive resistance is 40 Newton per ton. Allowance of our rotational inertia is 12%, that is WE. If the combined efficiency of the gear and motor is 85%, efficiency is given, calculate the specific energy consumption. So you need to find out the specific energy consumption. So while solving the problem, let us write the formula for that. So specific energy consumption, in short, let me denote it as SEC. Specific energy consumption can be given as specific energy output divided by efficiency of gear into efficiency of motor. This is what we derived it. So you need to find specific energy output, because efficiency of gear and efficiency of motor, they are not given it separately, but they are given the combined efficiency. Combine of together of this, we get efficiency of 85%. So that we have. Now we need to find specific energy output. So let's see the formula for specific energy output. That's what we have already derived in the previous class. So specific energy output can be given as, let me write that expression, 0.01072 Vm square We divided by dW plus 27.25 G. You should remember all these formulas here, D1 by D. Okay, so let's write one plus 2778. I don't have space here, so let me write it here, R D1 by D. So this is the formula for specific energy output. That's what we have derived in the previous class. Now substitute the parameters, unknown parameters here, and get the specific energy output. After getting that, substitute here and find specific energy consumption. That's it. So let's see what are the informations given here. We need D. So in the question D is given, that D is given as 2 km. In the question it has been given. So we know D. W, weight of a train, is not mentioned, okay, but WE is taken as 12% of rotational inertia, means that is 12% of W. So you can say that WE can be taken as 1.12 times of W. That's how we can write relation. G is nothing but the gradient, but here the question says that it's a level track. There is no up gradient nor down gradient. So the gradient G is going to become 0 here. So that's why I told you that is important. Level track. Level means there is no up or down gradient. So G is 0. Then capital D is given. We want D1. So D1 is nothing but that is the distance traveled for which we have supplied the energy. Okay. And that is if it is see, one point you need to understand here, main lines, assume main lines, means it's a trapezoidal curve. Main service lines means we get trapezoidal curve. Trapezoidal curve means we get the curve like this. we get acceleration, free running and braking. So up to this point we will give the supply. So you need to find this distance during acceleration, distance during free run, that will give you d1. Right now we don't know that. We need to find this d1 is unknown. Then resistance r is given, so let's write that r is given as 40 Newton per ton. So r is also given, right? So only the thing is we need to identify what is d1 and what is vm. The maximum speed is not given, so find d1 and vm, then substitute it here, you'll get the answer. So to find that vm, let's try to find first vm, the maximum speed. So let's write a formula to get that. We have vm equal to t by k into square root of t by k square minus 7200 into d by k whole square root. So this is the formula, right? So you should be very thorough about the formulas, and for that you need to go through the derivations app. Okay, so derivation has been already done in the previous sessions. So this formula here, we need to find what is t, k and d. D is already known, only thing you need to find t and k. T is nothing but we can obtain the t. Here we can obtain t is nothing but that is the total time. So let's see how to find. T is nothing but you can say t1 plus t2 plus t3. But in this problem we don't have those informations. We don't have t1, t2, t3 information. So let's try to find it in a different manner. We have another formula for that. To find t, let me make use of that average speed. Va is equal to 3600 d by t, because in question they have given the average speed. So that will be beneficiary if you write the given data. So if you write the given data here properly, then you'll come to know what has been given and how to make use of those data. So here we know Va, we know d, therefore t is equal to, by substituting that Va and d, I will write it directly. We get it as 144 seconds. So t is equal to 3600 d by Va, you should write it, and we get the answer as 144 seconds. We got t. Now we need to find k. So here we can write the formula for k. K is nothing but 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta. So in the question again alpha and beta is given here. Alpha is 1.8 and beta is 3.6. So just by substituting those two values we get the answer for this, that is 0.833. that is k value. 0.833 will be the k value. So we got k, we got t, then substitute it here and try to find Vm. Therefore after substituting these two values in this we get Vm. So let me write that. You make the substitutions here. Just t is 144, k is 0.833, d is 2. Just substitute those values and calculate it, simplify it. So the simplified answer for Vm will be 60.63 kilometer per hour. So that is the answer obtained for maximum speed. We got the answer for maximum speed. So one term has been identified here. Next you need to find d. D is given, you need to find d1. Vm we got, we find d. After finding d, you apply that in this formula and get this, so that we can find specific energy consumption. So how to find d now, or d1 now? Let's see. So d1 is nothing but what? We know that is the distance traveled by train during which we have given the electrical supply. So in the trapezoidal curve we give the electrical supply for acceleration as well as for free running period, right? So we don't know the distance of these two, but by looking into this picture we can say that if you identify the distance of a braking period, braking retardation, and we know the total distance, then I can find the distance of these two. It means I can write the condition like this here. The total distance can be given as distance traveled during acceleration plus, that we taken it as an d dash, plus distance traveled during free run, that is d double dash, plus distance traveled during the braking. Okay, right? If we do this, then we get the total distance. Here we know the total distance and we don't know these two. We need to find this. Summation of these two will be d1. D dash plus d double dash will be taken as d1 plus braking distance. So if you know the braking distance during this braking retardation, then I can find d1 because we know the total d, right? So let me try to find this braking duration, means after applying brake how long it has been or what is the distance traveled by the train. So that distance traveled during braking can be given as, use this triangle and find the area of it. So if you find the area of this, that will give you the distance, right? Therefore distance because of braking, during braking, distance traveled during braking can be given as 1 by 2 into the maximum speed into T3 by 3600. Okay, so Vm is, we got it, T3 the time period or time for a braking. So T3 is not yet given, so let's find T3. Therefore what we do here is, let's see T3. So T3 can be given as Vm by braking retardation. Braking retardation is given as 3.6. So simplify that, 60.63 by 3.6 will give you the answer as 16.84 second. So you get the answer for T3. Now substitute that value of T3 into the formula, then find dB. Therefore I can say dB, the distance traveled during braking, can be given as, you substitute this 16.84 here and Vm is 60.63, substitute it, and that simplified answer I will write it here, that is 0.142 kilometer. 0.142 kilometer. See, you should go on elaborating the things, then only you will come to know what has to be done next. Okay, so here we got dB. Once you get dB, you can find d1. Therefore d1 can be given as, here what we can say, d1 can be given as d minus dB, the total distance minus distance because of during braking. So that is nothing but the total distance was 2 km minus 0.142 km. That will give you d1, that is 1.858 km. So d1 is obtained. Finally we got all the parameters, we got d1, we got Vm, and all other things are known. Just substitute it and identify, find the specific energy output. Okay, therefore specific energy output can be given as, so substitute the values and get the answer here. So in place of Vm you substitute it here, whatever in place of We you substitute it as 1.12 times of W, right? And W get cancelled. So here let's write it, let me write it here, 0.01072. Vm is 60.63 square, We is 1.12 times of W divided by 2 into W, because D is 2, right, plus this portion. Here gradient is 0, so no need of substituting it. If anything is multiplied by 0, the complete portion will remain 0. So we get it 0 plus 0.2778 into R, that is 40, resistance is 40, into D1. So what is the D1? Just now we derived that value of D1, that is 1.858 by D, that is 2. Okay, so here W get cancelled here, this W get cancelled, and just simplify this portion. Therefore we can write specific energy output is equal to 32.39 watt, 32.39 watt hour per ton kilometer. So units are most important thing, you need to mention it. So this is just an answer of specific energy output. Now substitute this here and get specific energy consumption. So therefore specific energy consumption can be given as 32.39 whole divided by efficiency. The combined efficiency of this is 85%, that can be written as 0.85. Simplify it and we get it as 38.12 watt hour per ton kilometer. So this is the answer for the question. So specific energy consumption of the train is 38.12 watt hour per ton kilometer. Okay, I hope this process is very clear for you. Now let me take one more example, one more problem with some different information. So let's see this. Let's have a question here, right? So the question number 2 says that a train is moving up one gradient, so up 1% gradient. Let me adjust it. there is up gradient and it is 1%. So G is given here. In earlier problem, G was not there. If it is a level track, G is 0. That's the thing you need to understand. So from rest with a uniform acceleration of 1.8 km per hour per second for 30 seconds. So acceleration is given and even time taken for that acceleration is given. T1 is given. Okay. So let me write those things here. Alpha is given as 1.8. T1 is given as 30 seconds. Gradient is given as 1%. And the coasting period is 60 seconds. Coasting period is given here. So let me take it as beta C. 60 seconds. But that is the time. Okay. Right. So let me take it as a T2. T2 is 60 seconds. And the braking period is 20 seconds. So T3 is 20 seconds. The tractive resistance is 50 Newton per ton. So resistance is given 50 Newton per ton. Allow 10% of inertia. So WE can be given as 1.1 times of W, 10% of it. The duration of the stop is 20 seconds. So stop time is given as 20 seconds. And the efficiency of the gear system is 90% and that of motor is 85%. So individually they are given. Efficiency of gear is 90%. Efficiency of motor is 85%. Calculate the schedule speed and specific energy consumption. So you need to calculate Vs, schedule speed and specific energy consumption. Both has to be identified. So now by using this information, first let us try to find Vs, that is the schedule speed. So schedule speed formula we know that, very simple. So schedule speed can be given as Vs can be given as 3600 into d by ts. Okay, so where d is total distance and ts is nothing but the schedule time. So both has to be identified. We don't know d and we don't know ts. We need to find these two, then only I can find Vs. So let's see how to find ts. So the schedule time can be nothing but the total time t1 plus t2 plus t3, that is acceleration time, coasting time and braking time, all the times plus stop time. If you add this, you will get the total schedule time. So that is given in the question. T1 is 30, T2 is 60, T3 is 20, TS is also 20. So we just need to add it. 30 plus 60 plus 20 plus 20. Total, therefore I can write TS can be given as 130 seconds. And one thing you need to highlight here, what kind of a curve it is, whether it is a trapezoidal curve or a quadrilateral curve. Because in this question they are not mentioned that it is a main line or a trapezoidal. So you need to understand that they have given that there is a braking period as well as the coasting period. When you go for a trapezoidal curve, we won't get this coasting period, we get free run, but here we don't have free run. So we can say the curve will be like this. It will be acceleration and after that it will be a coasting and then braking, right? So here actually we disconnect the supply, so only acceleration is there, we don't have free running. So this is quadrilateral free curve. So you can say that this is the urban or a suburban type of lines. So this is most important thing which you need to understand. That's why I have taken this as a beta C. Actually coasting period is there. If it is free run, then it is a trapezoidal. If not, you should take it like this. If you don't get this picture, then it will be a problem, because here you need to identify V1 and V2. Two different speeds will be available. If it is trapezoidal, you will get only Vm, but here we have two different speed. This has to be understood by a given data. So coasting period is there, and if it is no free running, then it is a quadrilateral. Okay, so TS is got obtained. Now let's find the distance. The distance d. So how to find the distance d now? So using the quadrilateral, we have a formula. Just take an area of this and area of this. Okay, so that we already derived. So let me write that condition here. 1 by 2 V1 T1 by 3600. So this will give you the area because of this acceleration, area of the acceleration curve, plus during coasting we have this V1 and V2, both speeds has to be added. V1 plus V2 by 2 into that timing is T2 by 3600. This we derived even in the, we used it in the derivation also. So next 1 by 2, this is again a triangle, this portion is again a triangle. So 1 by 2 V2 T3 by 3600. This is V2, so I have taken V2 here, but for this we have V1 plus V2. So v1 is nothing but that is the speed, maximum speed we can say. v2 is nothing but the speed at this point. So we need to find v1 and v2, both has to be obtained. Once you find v1 v2, because we know t1 t2 t3 is given in the data, only v1 v2 is missing, so find v1 v2. So to find v1 v2, we'll see this. v1 is nothing but acceleration, so speed because of acceleration, so you can write it like this: v1 is equal to alpha t1, where acceleration is given as 1.8, even t1 is given as 30. So you can say v1 is 54 km/h. v1 can be easily, we obtained it easily, so we got v1. Similarly, you should try to find v2. So if you find v2, then you will get we can substitute here and we can get d. Okay, so how to find v2? So let's see that. v2, we have a formula: v1 minus beta c, that is coasting period, into t2. Okay, where v1 just now we obtained it, so 54, minus beta c. So what is the beta c? Is it given? No. Coasting period time is given, but they are not given the coasting period, so we need to find the coasting period. Beta c, let me keep it as it is. t2, yes, we know that it's 60. So how to find beta c? That's the question now. So let's identify this beta c. To get this, what we do is, you can take up attractive force Ft. Ft is equal to, we have formula 277.8 We minus beta c, because it's a coasting period, I will come to that point here, plus 98.1 Wg plus Wr. Okay, we want beta c. Beta c is nothing but this is a coasting period, right? This coasting period occurs only after removal of the supply. So once we remove the supply, there will be no tractive force. So I can say that this is equal to 0. Tractive force is equal to 0. And once we remove that force, whatever the part we get here, that is coasting period. So we have taken coasting period. If it was during energy consumption, it was acceleration. So we used to have Ft and we used to have alpha. But now during coasting period, no tractive force, because because of that we taken Ft as 0, and in place of alpha we have taken beta c, and it is downward, so it is minus beta c. Okay, so now substitute the values. We know W, we know R, we know G is given, W is not known, but we know WE. WE is nothing but 1.1 W, therefore I can write it like this: 0 is equal to 277.8 1.1 W minus beta c. Okay, minus beta c plus 98.1 W, whereas G is 1, plus W into R. R, what is the value of the R? So R is 50, so W into 50, right? So that's what the values has to be substituted. And now once you simplify these parameters, once you take that simplification, we get the value for beta c. You just simplify this, then we get beta c as 0.485 km/h/s. Okay, so we got that. Now because means we can take this W, we don't know the W value, so W can be taken to the LHS side. When we take it to the LHS side, it will be divided, so anything divided by 0, it will be again 0 only. So that's how we can remove the W in the picture, and we got beta c. After getting beta c, you can substitute it here, where you can substitute it to find V2. So therefore you can say V2 is equal to, now what you can say, V1 is 54 minus 0.485 into 60. So we get V2, that is 24.9. Unit will be km/h. We got V2 also. So V1 and V2 both have been obtained. Substitute it in D and get the answer. Therefore the distance traveled, the total distance traveled can be given as, I will not substitute the values, you substitute it here, V1, V2, T1, T2, T3, everything you substitute in here and get D. So the D will be 0.9515 km. That will be the distance traveled by the train. That is the answer for D. So once after getting that value D, you can substitute it here and get Vs. Therefore the scheduled speed can be given as 3600 into 0.9515 by Ts, that is 130. Answer will be 26.35 km/h. 26.35 km per hour, right? So I hope this is clear for you. Now let's try to find the specific energy consumption. So to find specific energy consumption, again you need to find specific energy output. So in that specific energy output formula, let's write that formula now. Specific energy output can be given as 0.01072 Vm square W E by dW plus 27.25 into 27.25 into G d1 by d plus 0.2778 R d1 by d. Okay, so substitute the values here. Vm, what is Vm? That is V1. So actually V1 is a maximum, that's what I told you here. By this picture you can say V1 is Vm. So Vm is 54 km per hour. This itself is Vm, 54 km per hour. We can be taken as 1.1 times of W, so W get cancelled here. Substitute that value. We is 1.1 W, keep it as it is. G is given, D is given, only the thing D1. So you need to find D1. So what is a D1? D1 is nothing but that is the distance traveled when there is a electrical supply. Okay, so in this picture we can say that up to this point I am going to give the supply. After this we get coasting and braking. Here we don't have any supply, right? So we need to find only distance of this, distance of acceleration. So that is the D1, because distance of acceleration can be given like this. D1 is equal to this area of the acceleration. Because we don't have free run, as I told you, only you need to find this distance. That will be D1. Okay, D1 is 1 by 2 V1 T1 by 3600. If simplify that, we get it as 0.225. Substitute that D1 in this formula and we get the answer of specific energy output like this. After getting this, use specific energy consumption formula, where specific energy output by gear efficiency into motor efficiency, that is given in the problem here. Substitute it and get the specific energy consumption as given. So this is how we can find the answers for the given question. If this is clear, like the video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get notifications of the new videos. Thank you.